Hey guys, this is the Kicks, Giggles, and Questions podcast with Opinionated Mac. I do reviews of 90 Day Fiancé, Life After Lockup, and soon to come Black Lightning when it comes back from hiatus. I'm giving honest, straightforward commentary on the shows while also finding positivity in the lessons we can learn from these situations and asking relevant questions about those situations right now. I am available, or the podcast is available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Anchor, and Apple, the one that matters the most. Most of you are probably on Spotify and Apple. So if you're listening on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate it. And follow me on Twitter at SS13Victory. Okay, so let's get it started. I am reviewing Season 2, Episode 2 of Life After Lockup, Manipulate the Manipulator. That was the name of the episode. I'm going to start talking about Angela and Tony first. So, of course, we know it left off last week. Angela kicked out Tony. Her sister, Donna Faye, is coming over to talk to her. She's telling her what happened, and he cheated, and that she kicked him out. And, you know, Donna Faye is just like, okay, so are you going to not be with him at all, or are you gonna take him back? Like, Donna Faye knows her sister, and she's saying, no, I'm not gonna take him back, you know, I get it. And she's like, okay. So they were playing this hecka dramatic music in the background. It was good. It sounded good. It was some type of country music. It had some it sounded like it had a guitar on it. I liked the songs. But anyways, that they were playing in Angela and Tony's background scenes. The songs they were playing in the background for their scenes. So, you know, she's telling her, you know, you need to leave him alone. Don't bring him back. Don't let him back in the house. But you can tell Donna Faye is a little skeptical that she might do that. She tells that she might take him back. She tells her that he proposed to her and that she accepted. And her sister was like, for somebody with so much education, you sure are dumb. And people have been saying that online. Everybody's been like, she's a counselor. She's a mental health counselor. How is she? You know, but of course, we all know that having formal education does not mean that you have common sense or that you make healthy or wise decisions in your personal life. So yeah, the first question, of course, of the podcast is, will Angela listen to her sister and not take Tony back? And we've already seen from the previews that the answer to that is no. So then later we see Angela burning Tony's clothes. And I said to myself, did you not buy these clothes for him? If she didn't buy the clothes, then okay. But even then, even if she didn't buy the clothes, why didn't she put them on eBay or something? Like, I guess it was a release for her, but I'm like, you could have sold that stuff. Okay. But, and so he's there and he's begging her to take him back and we can make it work and I'm sorry. And I'm like, you're sorry for what? Like, you won't even admit that you're cheating. And then she said, she's not going to let him back in the house. And he's like, don't you mean our house? And she's like, no, my house. And she said, it's not our house anymore. And I could not believe that did not enrage her. Like, I would be incensed if a man said to my face, our house, when I am the one whose name is on the deed. I'm the one who took out the loan. I'm the one who pays the mortgage every month. What bills you paying up in here? Like, your house. Like, what? That's what made me think maybe this was fake. People on Twitter were saying that it looked, or online were saying it looked soap opera-ish. And I was like, yeah, it did have that vibe. I don't know if he even really cheated on her, if that was all manufactured. But I wouldn't think that she would lie to her sister and everything. We know, of course, he was cheating. So, I just couldn't believe that didn't anger her and really, like, incense her. But, yeah, that was their scene. We're going to see what happens. He kept saying, oh, she has to let me back in because I'm paroled to her house. And I'm like, okay, she said, I don't give a F. Talking about he doesn't have anywhere to go. Where were you all these last hours? With one of your females. You do have somewhere to go. Like, live with her. Oh, man. They're definitely giving us entertainment, though. I am being entertained by Angela and Tony. So I am glad to see her giving him the business right now and kicking him out, but I'm cautious because it does look like she might have taken him back. So I don't know how smart Angela really is being. We'll see. Okay, next we're going to talk about Marcelino and Brittany because they had the least going on. I mean, interesting, but their drama. They don't have like drama, so they're not as uh, uh, fun to watch or interesting to watch, but still engaging. So Brittany is pretty much telling Marcelino, listen, homie, I need you to get a job, like a real one, because we about to have another kid. We have full custody of my child now. We got these bills, $30,000 to pay an attorney, which I was like, what? Why would you get an attorney that you can't afford? Anyways, but I was like, wow. So she was like, so I need you to get a job. Because Marcelino is a poker player and he's apparently making enough money to pay the bills and to take care of all of them, which I'm like, wow, I'm pretty impressed. He must be very good. But again, gambling is still gambling. It's still uncertain. It's not a guarantee. So Marcelino was like, oh, I'm not about to go, listen to some work, a fast food job or some low wage job. And she's like, listen, I'm not telling you to do that, but we have to think about our kids and our future. So I need you to get it together. And he said, oh, you think it's easy? And she was like, what? I think it's easy. I'm a felon. Like, I have felonies. I don't, I didn't go to high school. I can't go out here and find a decent job. People look at me as, they don't take me seriously. So I know it's hard, but apparently she is going to school and she's trying to get a skill set. So that's good. And, she's trying to adjust to being a mom and everything. So, and being a full-time mom and go to school and all that. So Marcelino, he goes to speak to a recruiter about getting a job, and apparently Marcelino has a master's degree in public administration, but he says that for the last several years he's been playing poker. And I was wondering, I was confused because he's talking to the recruiter and he doesn't know Microsoft Office products, he doesn't have any skills, he doesn't have any experience, and I'm like, hold up, time out, slow up. You got through an undergraduate and graduate program without using any Microsoft Office products? You didn't work a job at any point during that time? You never used this public administration degree? Like, I was so confused about how he has no skills. Like, especially Microsoft Office, that's basic. Everybody knows how to use Microsoft Office. So I was real confused, and I wanted to know, what did he do all those years before he was playing poker? How was he making money? What is his work history? And then usually when you see a recruiter, I've been to recruiters, you bring your resume. They talk to you from what's on your resume. So I was like, where's his resume? What? Anyways, y'all, this was, set up, but the recruiter said that Marcelino has an inflated sense of his value, and I agreed with that. I feel like some people were saying the recruiter was rude and all of that. I'm like, obviously y'all have never been to a recruiter. This is how recruiters are. Like, I've been to recruiters and they will chew you out. Like, if they are working not for you, they're working for companies. You're not who they're working for. They're working for the company, and the company is paying them to make sure they get the right people. And so recruiters are very real. That's how it is with recruiters. And the guy wasn't rude. He was being honest. He was telling him the truth. Marcelino was coming to him talking about he wants to make 60 to 70 grand a year with no experience and no skills. Like, what? That's ludicrous. That's ridiculous. So, that guy was telling him the truth. Okay, so now, again, I'm going to talk about Lacey and Shane because there's, oh God. Okay, so they're moving into a new house, and it's a nice house. It looks like a nice neighborhood. I just want to say, I'm not a fan of Lacey and Shane. I'm sorry that they're on this season. I wouldn't talk about them at all. However, I know there are people who are interested in them, and so I'm going to talk about them. So the house is nice, and clearly, I know they're getting paid from the show, but that's not the lion's share of her income. Like, clearly, the cam girl stuff that Lacey is doing pays because she was able to get approved for a mortgage loan, I'm sure, and she's purchasing this house and paying all these bills. So, she getting money with the sex work, I guess. But so they're seeing the house. The house looks nice. It looks very nice, and I will say that moment where the kids come, her father comes and brings her children, and her little boy was crying, and Shane was comforting him. He was like, "Oh, you're crying? You're sad because you're leaving the old house, buddy? It's okay." And he was comforting him, and I thought that was so sweet. Like, I thought that was really sweet. So yeah, anyway, so she starts talking to her dad, and she's telling him about how John is texting her, and she's worried about him, and her dad looked a little surprised. He was like, "What? Like, I thought that was in the past." And my thing was, why did he look surprised? Or why did he say he thought the past was in the past? Does he not know his child by now? Does he not know how Lacey is? Especially since she's apparently been messing with John for 15 years. Like, it's not hard to just break that kind of connection. With her being 30, if they've been together for 15 years on and off, that means she met John in high school. She met John when she was a teenager. A lot of times people that have a connection from their teenage years that continues into adulthood, it's very hard to break that type of connection. I'm not saying they can't. I'm not even saying they're going to get back together, but it's hard to just break away from that person. I know parents want to think the best of their children, but you also have to be honest. I mean, I'm not giving parental advice. I'm not a parent, but I'm just saying, like, you also got to be honest about your kids' shortcomings and their bad choices. And I feel like her father, he's trying to, like, see the good in Lacey, and of course he is, that's his daughter, but, like, you still have to be real with yourself about her choices. They're not the best in men. And I also was just thinking that, like, Lacey she loves attention. Like, you could tell she likes attention from multiple men, and I don't know for sure if she likes drama, but it seems like she does. Like, in her confessional when she was saying she's nervous about telling Shane about John contacting her because her dad was telling her, you need to tell Shane. You need to just be honest. You guys are having a new start with this new house. Like, be honest. And that's good advice. And she was like, I don't know. Like, it seemed like she low-key was, like, excited. Like she's glad for the drama it's going to create. Like, I don't know. But I was thinking that since she seems to like attention, which is interesting for a woman of her age, I don't understand why she doesn't just try to be polyamorous or have an open relationship. Like, if you like attention from multiple men, do that. Like, I don't understand why these people who clearly want to be in multiple relationships and be with multiple people try to have these relationships with people who want monogamy. Like, there are people out here who will agree to polyamorous relationships. There are people out here who will agree to open relationships. It's going to be a little harder for you because majority of people want monogamy, but you can find them. Like, I don't understand why people like Lacey and Michael won't just be real with themselves and go find other people who are open and willing to have a relationship where they are honest about the fact that they are sleeping with other people or they have relationships with multiple people. Like, we live in a huge country. There are a lot of people who would be open to that. Not as many, but, like, I don't know. That's why I say I wonder if these people like the drama. They enjoy the drama. Yeah, so they had that little fight when he conveniently found her phone that was laying there with the exact text open. Like, that that seemed, set up. But and they had their little fight with air quotes. I don't know how real that fight was, but yeah. That's Lacey and Shane. So next, Andrea and Lamar, who, man, they are my favorites. Like, my favorite couple on 90 Day Fiancé is Angela and Michael. On Love After Lockup, it's Andrea and Lamar. They are entertaining. I hope they get their own show. They need to get a spinoff. But Lamar is off parole and he's all happy and they're playing his music in the background. He's still rapping even though he's 40 plus. Listen, if you want to have a hobby, that's great. But please trying to be a rapper at that. Anyways, so his brother has a studio, which looks nice. I must say, the studio looks nice. And his brother Dulo is asking him, what would you do if Andrea just says, you know what, I don't want to live in California. I'm not coming out there. And, you know, what would you do? And he said, I'll be really disappointed. I will feel torn. And I'm like, but she already said that. What are you talking about? Like, I was like, she's already said that. She already said she's not living in California, point blank, period. She's moved back to Utah. Like, what are you talking about? She already said that. Anyways, so he said he misses Andrea, he misses the kids, he misses the drama and the fighting. And I was a little surprised. I thought that he would just be like happy to be by himself. But, you know, you can tell he really loves Andrea and he does care about the kids. And obviously he knows that Priscilla is his daughter. So he probably feels torn being separated from her. And he was telling his brother that he wants to try to convince her to come back to California. And, you know, I was like, what is she coming back to, the ghetto? Like, I mean, it's not like, I don't know for sure where they were living, but like, clearly they weren't living in the nice part of LA, and they weren't living, you know, around in Southern California, in San Diego, or one of these other parts of Southern California that's really nice. Because I think if they were, Andrea wouldn't have had such a bad outlook and perspective about California. Like, if they were living in a nice area, or, you know, one of the nice parts of Southern California, I think maybe she would have been more open to staying there. Yeah, so then we see Andrea and the kids getting ready to go and pick him up from the airport, and the kids seem a little excited. They seem, Nyla, they seem, you know, of course the little girl, but the two teenagers, I thought that they would just be like, whatever, like they were when he came back from prison, but they seem to be, you know, not super excited, but they seem to be open to seeing him again, and like they didn't seem to have a bad attitude about it. Tennyson, her son, is saying she's acting like a teenager, and I'm like, but you are a teenager, what are you talking about? Like, her kids seem to appear more mature than her. But anyways, it does show that she's raised them right. They seem mature, they seem well behaved, and they look good. They're handsome, they're good looking kids. I do want to say that I was looking at the little girl's hair, and I was like, this is gonna sound so ignorant, but I was like, do they have black barbershops and beauty salons in Utah? Like, I was wondering because that girl's hair looked good. Maybe Andrea did her hair, but the boy, like, since I've been watching the show, his hair is never lined up well, and I was like, is she doing his hair? Like, who's lining him up? Like, are there black barbers there? I don't know. Anyways, so he finally shows up. They did the whole fake, oh, is he going to show up? Is he here or not? Yes, you know he was showing up. Girl, please. Anyways, so he comes, he hugs the kids and everything, and then, you know, she's pretending. She's fronting like she's not glad to see him when she is. On the inside, she's jumping up and down like a little girl, but on the outside, she's fronting. And she is, you know, irritated at him. I mean, that is genuine. They see some missionaries, Latter-day Saints, the Mormon missionaries, and she's so excited, and you know, and you know, Lamar has home training, so he says, hey, how you guys doing? I don't know why he was calling them sir. I was like, these boys are younger than you. Why are you calling them sir? They're not calling you sir. Anyways, so then they're in the car, they're driving back home, they're on the highway, and you know, they're talking about the pros and cons of living in Utah versus living in California. And it is true, the standard of living is higher in California. As far as it being safer, I think that was like I was like, you're talking about the whole state? Or are you just talking about that little part where y'all were living? Because, again, if y'all were living in a nicer neighborhood, which, again, I don't know where they were living, so I don't know if it was nice or not, but obviously there's safe parts of California, and there's dangerous parts, probably in Utah. So, I mean, is there no poverty in Utah? Like, come on. Is there no crime in Utah? So, anyways, I just feel like they have that perspective because the part where they lived was not the nicest, maybe. But, again, like, most black people, I don't think, are trying to live in Utah. Like, you'd never catch me living there. Like, I mean... I'd live in the West Coast if my income got to a level where I could afford it. It's really expensive living out there, but I mean, I'd visit Colorado or places like that. I want to visit Denver and see the mountains out there, but I would never live in Utah. Are you kidding me? Like, what? You know. Anyways, so that was their part. I'm looking forward to seeing Andrea and Lamar. I think Andrea and Lamar do really love each other. Like, they're going to be together. I really do think they're going to stay together. I think Lamar meant it when he said he misses them. She said she still loves him. I don't know how they're going to resolve the living situation, but they're going to work it out. Now, she said that she's going to tell her kids that Priscilla is his child. I hope she's not going to tell them how, but they're smart enough that I think they're going to ask how. And I really am not excited to see it, because I don't think it's the best idea to tell her kids that on TV. But Andrea loves the attention. She loves being in front of the camera, so of course she's going to do that. But I'm sorry that she is. I really don't think that's going to be a happy thing for her kids. But anyways, well, the little girl, but the two kids who are old enough to understand, it's not going to be pleasant for them. So, yeah. So, last and certainly not least, Megan, Michael, and Sarah. So, we've been waiting to see this. Okay, we've been waiting to see this, honey. Michael finally speaks to Megan's father face to face, and they did not disappoint. Megan's father was like, okay, why are you here? Like, talk to me. What's going on? And and he asked Michael, all the real questions, just like B did. And, how many kids do you have? Do you have any side babies? Are you divorced? No. Do you know when you're going to be divorced? No. Okay, do you have any papers? No. Why did you come out here? And Michael is continuing to lie. He's saying, he wants to put everything on the table and put everything out in the open and clear everything up. And it's like, okay, no, you don't, because you're still talking to other women. You're, in fact, dozens of women, which we'll get to. And so Megan's dad tells her, listen, you need to keep your eyes open. What's done in the dark will come to the light, which it will. And he asked her, how do you feel about him? Do you still love him? And she says yes. And she says she's proud of him. And I'm like, proud of what? What did he do to be proud of? What are you talking about? Like, I don't... Okay, but anyway, her father said, if someone shows you who they are the first time, believe them. Okay? So, Megan, listen to your father. And people were saying, like, they don't understand why Megan even dealt with Michael in the first place. She has a father who loves her, who cares about her, like, and, I don't know. Maybe Megan is like Lauren London's character from ATL, and she wants, to get some type of street cred and experience. I mean, I don't know. And other women were saying, clearly y'all have not met a dude like Michael. He's probably smooth talking. His sex game's probably on point. And yeah, I mean, obviously, clearly, he's able to game certain women. And I think, Sarah called him a manipulator, and I think he is. And men who know how to manipulate, and women as well, people who know how to manipulate, they can't manipulate anybody. They know how to find people who they can get over on, because there's women who Michael can't get over on, right? There's women who would see through Michael easily, but there's women who won't. Obviously, Sarah, a la Sarah and Megan, and these dozens of other females. So, dozens, but at least 12 plus, at least 12 to 20. So, from the phone records that Sarah found. So, yeah, so Michael clearly has game and knows how to manipulate certain types of women. He couldn't get over on me. And I know it's like, oh, you say that, but no, because my choices, the types of men that I talk to, I'm not in a relationship right now, but she has high standards. And I would never be talking to a guy like Michael. I remember one time I was walking home years ago when I was like in my early 20s, and like this guy, his pants were sagging. He had dreads, which I like dreads, but I like well-groomed dreads. Okay. He looked like a hood booger, and he was like, hey, little mama, and I kept walking, honey. It's like I didn't even see him. No less, I mean, anyways, so, they went line dancing. That scene was cute. It was funny. He said, oh, the instructor was 80, but she had, rhythm. She was going in. That was cute. But, like, so anyways, now Sarah, Sarah's talking to her girlfriend, that same, very fit girl. I think she's a trainer or something. She looks good though, but she's very muscular. She's very in shape, and telling her how she's paying Michael's phone bill, and so she sees what I mentioned, all these women that are sending Michael money, including Megan, which I'm like, you know what, how is Michael able to get these women to send him all this money? He's not working, and he's making as much money, more than I make. I make more than $1,200 a month, but like, he's making an income. He's like, this is his income, and I'm like, how do you get these women for nothing? Like, I'm sure he's not promising these girls anything. He's not sleeping with any of them. I want to believe in my gender. Like, I want, but like, I can't believe that so many women are so slow. Like, I wouldn't, like, I don't know. But you know what? Listen, if they want to send him their money, by all means. Clearly, they're not sad about it. They don't care. They don't care about how he's using it. Shoot. If a man wants to give me money, what am I going to do? Say no? What? So, you know what? Do your thing. Anyways, Sarah says she's paying the phone bill so he can talk to his daughter. And I was like, that's your first mistake. Then she said she's paying for his health insurance and car insurance. And I was like, wait, he has a car? Who's paying for the car? He bought a vehicle with what? I know he's getting paid from the show, but why are you paying his car insurance? Why are you paying his health insurance? She probably has him, when you're married, I know from her job, she probably put him on her health insurance and her car insurance that she got through her job. Probably, not car insurance, but the health insurance through her job. And she should have taken him off, because usually you re-enroll every year. So why would you re-enroll him in the last year after everything he did? Anyways, but he's making all that money, but he's apparently not sending any of it to her to take care of the kids. And she said, but you don't see Sarah's name. I'm not one of the women sending him money. Well, you don't have to. You're paying his bills. You're not any better than these females. You're calling them hoes and stuff, but you paying his bills, so he's continuing to get over on you as well. She said she cut it off, which is good. I'm glad to hear that. But she said she thinks he has the potential to be a good person. And I'm like, And Emmy, her friend, was like, no, he doesn't. What? She was like, what are you talking about? And she said, Sarah said, I fell in love with something. And I'm like, yeah, you fell in love with his game. You fell in love with his smooth talking. You fell in love with his sex. Like, I wasn't there, but I think that those are pretty good. I'm throwing out some things that I think that's what got her to fall in love with him. I don't know for sure, but it's possible. There are possibilities. So yeah, I'm glad that she's cutting him off. Her hair looks good. I'm glad she's cutting off the payments. So that was season 2, episode 2. She said she's manipulating the manipulator. Sarah said that. So anyways, this was a decent episode. I enjoyed watching it. I hope, I'm so glad for this season, man. That last season was straight trash. I was really annoyed, and I was like, I don't think I'm watching this show next season, but when I saw that they were doing Life After Lockup again, I was so happy. So I definitely enjoyed this. It was a good episode, and I'm looking forward to next week. It's gonna be a good season. It's getting off to a good start. So yeah. Thanks for listening, guys. Again, if you are watching on YouTube or listening on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely comment. Okay, we need to talk about this. Ladies and gents, we need to talk about this. And again, I'm on Apple. You can listen to the podcast on Anchor, on Google Podcasts, on Spotify. Follow me on Twitter at SS13Victory. I want to do lives. I want to do lives on YouTube, but I don't want to show my face. So I have to figure out how to put up an image. But I do want to do lives at some point. Probably not every week. I'm already late with this. Everybody had their stuff out yesterday because it's Sunday that this is going up. So I am going to be live tweeting 90 Day Fiance tonight. So again, SS13Victory. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.